Hello, this is Tom with the Tractor Rescue Ranch. I am now working on this swather trailer I'm getting ready to put together. And just to update you, a friend of mine, Robbie, found these tires for me. They're don't have a lot of tread, but they're not real weather checked, so I think that they'll be in good shape for doing what we need to do here. But anyway, they were given to him and he gave them to me, so I think I'm in good shape with the tires on this outfit. So I've got it kind of laid out here for what I'm going to do. I am going to leave all this stuff out of the center, so everything will be driven. I'll drive it on the back, up some ramps, onto the back. I'll drive it with the header going forward. And the header on that swather will just fit between the tires. The tires will be the widest things on it. And so coming out here to the end, the front, the header, the sickle bar part of the header will be right there, and then there's a bar in front of that up higher that'll be about right here, so that's where the sickle bar goes. And then we come back to here, trying to pull this out so that there's some perspective, but right here will be the center of the heavy front tires, and so that's just right. I think there'll be weight on the truck as well as on the trailer part, so that's the center of the front tires there. And then you come back and the one tire, the center of the back tire, is right there close to the edge on the back. So I think that'll turn out perfect. What my intent is, I want to have this thing adjustable. And so if you can see the way it was originally made, this frame, the wheelbase on this can be adjusted back and forth. So I want to make the ramps adjustable back and forth as well, so that if I ended up with a different swather along the way somewhere, I could still haul that. I could change things around. So probably U-joint or U-bolts down through there, and a U-bolt there holding that stuff on. And then I can, this piece here is a real heavy gauge piece of tubing, and so getting it lined up, it's long enough that I can drill a hole through this and bolt that, so that can change just by drilling new holes. So this piece will be up underneath there, going across there, and so then I think that pretty much would do it. This U-shaped channels came out of a wrecking yard over there in Evanston, Wyoming, and they are really heavy, extremely heavy. So I think that they'll be fine. This front place will have the majority of the weight on the front axles. We'll have the majority of the weight there, and then the back wheel out here on the end doesn't have very much weight on it. The back end of them swathers. that back wheel doesn't have very much weight. The majority of the weight's up on the front, so that puts the majority of my weight in a really good spot there. So this setup, the way it is set up, the wheels, the farthest wheel point out on those tires is about 13 feet. And I can go 16 feet without buying permits. So I'm in really good shape on the width of this system here. I think we'll be in good shape. So each one of those tires has a 4,610 pound load rating for it. So that's just one tire. So you've got a little bit of weight in the frame and everything, and then some of the weight will be up on the tongue of the truck. But this swather, I think I read somewhere that this swather is probably around 5,400 pounds. So this thing is way heavy duty for the amount that I'm going to be hauling around on it. And so with this header coming out to here, what I'm going to do is cut a block of wood to go in here, and it'll be up a little bit higher than that steel, and then I can just sit that header down. Once it's loaded and in place, I can just sit that header down onto those blocks of wood, and that'll stabilize things a lot better with the header sitting on the wood instead of having that header up there floating in the air. Then another thought that I had on loading this, rather than loading it from the back with the ramps, that old winch I'll cut off the front, and that old broken jack stand I can cut off the front. So I thought one possibility on loading is to unhook it from the truck and sit the tongue on the ground, and just, if you can visualize, backing the swather on with that tongue sitting on the ground, back it over the tongue and up some short ramps up onto the frame there, and then back the back wheel all the way to the back end. I think that might be something to consider on loading. Instead of loading it from the back end, you wouldn't have very high to climb doing it from that direction.